Is this something to keep in your da'wah tool?
This is not something to keep in your dawah tool, guys. Not at all, not when he is given a reference for everything he says, up until the point where he makes the big claim that Isaac was 37 when Rebekah was born, when Sarah died.
Ladies and gentlemen, if somebody had told me to close my eyes and listen to the video you have just watched, I would have easily thought that the person speaking in that video is a Christian apologist. Shocker, that guy is a Muslim apologist. Jack, the metaphysician, the Muslim metaphysician, whatever that means, he's the one who is laying out that explanation, argument so boldly, so vividly and clearly for the whole world to understand. He actually does it quite better than some of the Christian apologists we have. Guys, I'm starting to notice a trend. The world of Islam is imploding, is collapsing, and collapsing by itself, by their own means. I'm starting to notice a trend here. Every year, Muslim apologists do something so scandalous that it divides their world at the expense of Islam, but it's highly advantageous to the Christian apologists or the Christian world. You don't believe me? Hear me out. 2021 holds in the narrative Yasser Qadi and Muhammad Hijab. Wow, you remember that? 2022. Videos about the avalanche of apostasy. You remember that? That was 2022. Yep. 2024. Ali Dawa goes on his YouTube channel and says he debunks the scientific miracles of the Quran. You know, Muslim apologists have relied on those scientific miracles for so long. Ahmed Didat, Zakir Naik, you know, they depend on them. Yep. Ali Dawa goes up there and says, no, I debunk them. They are not true. They are not true. I debunk them. He debunks them by himself, right? That was 2024. Come with me to 2025 and we have a beautiful, scandalous, mysterious marriage by none other than our Dawa golden shower boy, Mohammed Hijab. This created very many apostates. You remember that? And now, fresh out of the closet, we unbox, we unpack a new argument against Islam by Jack, the metaphysician, the Muslim metaphysician, whatever that means. He says Rebekah wasn't 3. What else do Christian apologists want? Aren't we coming into the golden era of Christian apologetics? They are doing the work on behalf of Christian apologists. I mean, even some of us, I'm not so good at this. Well, I know my Bible and I know a lot of Quran and tafsir and this, but I can't call myself an expert. But I have arguments. Imagine Jack, the metaphysician, has given me this content free of charge, and people are gonna see it. This is what is happening. Believe me, guys, Christian apologetics would not have been smooth here without the likes of Sheikh Yasser Qadi, Muhammad Hijab, Ali Dawa, Jake the metaphysician, Daniel Hakikachu, all these people. It is by their dawa, it is by their arguments that they are losing their game, you know? Unbelievable. Let's go in that video and you hear how well this man explains the whole Rebekah was 3 years old argument and he debunks it against his own, against Sheikh Uthman. Some people call him Sheikh Ibn Fibin, Sheikh Footnote, the one who lost arguments and debates against God logic. It is a house against itself. Guys, listen to this. Let's go into it. Unbelievable.
Jake Brancatella, aka the Muslim metaclown, refuted the wannabe Sheikh Uthman ibn Ketchup and the rest of the Dawah guys about the Muslim lie that Rebekah was 3 years old when Isaac married her. And he is asking the gullible Muslims to stop parroting this repeated lie which they learned from the Dawah guys because it's a terrible and bankrupt argument. They cannot back it up from our scriptures.
Rebekah would be how old? 3 years old. 3 years old. It's all verses from the Bible itself. So if you want to talk about child marriages, let's talk about it. This is something to keep in your da'wah tool.
This is not something to keep in your da'wah tool, guys. This is not something to keep in your da'wah tool, guys.
This is something to keep in your da'wah tool.
This is not something to keep in your da'wah tool, guys. Not at all, not when he is given a reference for everything he says, up until the point where he makes the big claim that Isaac was 37 when Rebekah was born, when Sarah died. He didn't give any biblical reference for that. Why? Why is that? I don't know, maybe he doesn't know any better. Now, it's not only Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk that is using this argument. Brother Muhammad Adi from Muslim Lantern uses this argument. So-called Muslim Cowboy, Brandon uses this argument. Daniel Hakikachu uses this argument. Many of these different guys are using this argument, and it's not a sound argument to be used. And it's not a sound argument to be used. It is something that relies on a logical leap that isn't explicit in the text, and we wouldn't want Christians and Jews to do the same sorts of things with our text, with the Quran, with Sunnah, and when they do it, we criticize them. So likewise, we should be able to criticize our own people when they are doing the same thing.
Rebekah was born when Sarah died.
There, that claim right there. I want you to listen again. Notice he's given a biblical text so far for pretty much every claim he's made up until this point. Listen to it closely again.
Isaac was 37 when his mother died, and he was 37 when Rebekah was born.
He just said that Isaac was 37 when Rebekah was born. Did he give a biblical citation for that? No, he didn't, and you will see that he doesn't. Did he give a biblical citation for that? No, he didn't, and you will see that he doesn't. That's the key claim. That's the key claim. And also now watch the second part.
Right? Because Rebekah was born when Sarah died.
His proof for that, he says, right, because Rebekah was born when Sarah died. The assumption is that Rebekah was born at the time that Sarah died, which at that time, Isaac was 37, and that they got married 3 years after his mother, Sarah, died. So therefore, Rebekah had to be 3. But notice he did not give a biblical citation for that. He said that Isaac was 37 when Rebekah was born. He didn't give a biblical citation for that. And then his explanation was because Rebekah was born at the same time that Sarah, his mother, died. But where's the biblical reference for that? He didn't give it. I'll explain where the assumption is and why it's a very flawed assumption on many levels.
So, what does that mean? That means that Isaac was 40 when he married Rebekah. Huh? How old was he when she was born? 37. He married her at 40. Huh? So Rebekah would be how old? 3 years old. 3 years old. It's all verses from the Bible itself. So if you want to talk about child marriages, let's talk about it. This is something to keep in your da'wah tool.
This is not something to keep in your da'wah tool, guys. Not at all, not when he is given a reference for everything he says, up until the point where he makes the big claim that Isaac was 37 when Rebekah was born, when Sarah died. He didn't give any biblical reference for that. Why? Why is that? I don't know. Maybe he doesn't know any better. The assumption is that when Rebekah was born in the previous chapter, all of a sudden, when Sarah dies at the beginning of the next chapter, that must be at the same time that Rebekah was born. But why should we assume that at all? There could have been a gap of time in between this discussion and this passage here, because this happens quite frequently in the biblical texts, that you can have a time jump, in just a few verses. And this is evident because notice when Abraham is being told these things, he's being told about all of these different children being born. And obviously they weren't all born on the same day. So obviously there's some sort of time difference between this. It wasn't that she was born on the exact same day that Sarah died. And why should we even assume that it's the same month or same year? There's nothing that explicitly says that in the text. It's just a pure assumption that when Sarah dies a few verses later, Rebekah must have been born at the exact same time. There is nothing explicit in the text to demonstrate that. Now, is it possible? Is it even remotely possible? I guess you could say it's very remotely possible, but there's no textual indicators that demonstrate that. And in fact, in other chapters later, there are things about Rebekah and the way that she's described when she gets married that don't seem consistent with her being 3 years old. So I'm not saying absolutely definitively that she was 10 years old or 15. I don't know how old she was. The text doesn't explicitly say how old she was when she got married to Isaac, because it doesn't even tell you how old she was when Sarah died. She didn't have to be 1 month old when Sarah died. She could have been 10 years old when Sarah died. In which case, if they got married 3 years after that, then she would be 13. We don't know. The text doesn't actually say. So just as we want Christians and Jews and outsiders who are investigating Islam or maybe even critiquing it, just as we want them to be fair with our texts, they should expect the same thing with us. But there's nothing explicit in the text that demonstrates that. And we want to use the best arguments. We want to use the best evidences. We shouldn't be using things that could be critiqued in this way to say that we are making such a logical leap. Now, it's not only Sheikh Uthman ibn Farouk that is using this argument. Brother Muhammad Adi from Muslim Lantern uses this argument. So-called Muslim Cowboy, Brandon uses this argument. Daniel Hakikachu uses this argument. Many of these different guys are using this argument, and it's not a sound argument to be used. It is something that relies on a logical leap that isn't explicit in the text, and we wouldn't want Christians and Jews to do the same sorts of things with our text, with the Quran wa Sunnah, and when they do it, we criticize them. So likewise, we should be able to criticize our own people when they are doing the same thing.
Now, isn't that what exactly the Bible says in Mark chapter 3, verse 25? A house divided against itself cannot stand. Here is the Muslim metaphysician against Sheikh Ketchup, Ibn Fibin, Sheikh Footnote. You see, guys, they are doing it for the Christians, free of charge. But this, don't think that he made this video and went away with it. As much as many Muslims understood his idea, his argument, and they actually supported him, there were those who were really annoyed. They sieved through the whole video. Let's sample a few comments. For example, this one said two things. One of his commenters said, he does basic math to establish ages. You don't need a biblical verse. Number two, if you felt or came to the conclusion that it is a wrong assumption, then why did you not call him and give him his fair opportunity to present his case? You remember he said two things, now he puts the third thing. Why do you defend the dilemma of the Christian Bible? It's not our place. Number four, try to be politically correct. Why do it on a platform against your fellow Muslim? The brother is right. Number five, I'm so disappointed in this video of yours. For such a learned person, you should have known better instead of rage clickbait between two Dawa teams. His own are attacking him about the video. Here the next comment. The other commenter said, please don't call him Sheikh Uthman. We haven't forgot that he publicly praised Daniel, who openly waters down shirk. Uthman has also been refuted in detail by Sheikh Abdurrahman or my son, the senior student of Sheikh Muhsin Abad. This one seems to support the metaphysician. Now, listen to this other guy. This one says, another commenter, I see you deleted my previous comment because I called you fat and lonely. And I double down on that. But these videos of yours will cause further division in the Ummah. And Christians are already out here calling Sheikh Man this and that because of this video. You could have done this in a better way. Christians are having a field day. In fact, me, the first time to see this video, it was from Brother Rob Christian. He's the one who posted it. And I couldn't believe my ears. Neither could I believe my eyes. I said, let me go to the metaphysician's channel himself and give him some support and see how he actually posted it. Man, I couldn't believe it. He argued the whole argument. He put it out there so nicely, so well. To my amazement, you know, it was like there are very many things out there that indicate that Rebekah wasn't young. Things like in the same verses he was quoting, Rebekah was carrying gallons of water and, giving them to the camels. A 3-year-old can't do that, like take these gallons into the buckets into the well and fetch water, then water the camels, go back until they got satiated. I was surprised. Anyway, guys, there you have it. Tune in for some more. Kindly subscribe, kindly share, kindly like. Recommend this channel. It is a very lonely channel. I'm so alone. I have only 13 of you. Please subscribe. Give me power. This year I want to be serious into this apologetics thing. Well, on the same note, on a similar note, kindly advise where I should improve. Give me ideas how I should grow this channel, because I really love doing this in my spare time. Have a day job, but this is something I love to do, to delve into the Dawa world, to swim in there and see what is happening there. Then I post it back. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.